Hello, my name is Gretar Thor Gudjohnsen. I'm an author, psychology student, and someone who has spent years exploring a question that I believe affects every human being on Earth. Why do some people come alive through life while others slowly become exhausted by it? The more I studied psychology, stress, recovery, human performance, and my own life, the more I became convinced that many of the problems we struggle with share a common thread. An energy problem. Not energy in the mystical sense, not energy in the motivational sense, but energy in the biological sense. The energy available to your nervous system, the energy available to your mind, the energy available to your body, the energy available to your life. Think about it. Every goal requires energy. Even a relationship requires energy. Every dream requires energy. Every challenge requires energy. Even healing requires energy. Yet very few people are ever taught how human energy actually works. We are taught how to work, we are taught how to perform, we are taught how to push. We are taught how to endure, but we rarely taught how to recover. And I believe this has consequences. We live in a world where millions of people are exhausted. Many are sleeping enough, many are exercising, many are doing everything they've been told to do. And yet they still feel depleted. Why? Perhaps because fatigue is more complicated than we think. Perhaps exhaustion is simply not about sleep. Perhaps it is also about regulation. Perhaps it is about stress. Perhaps it is about emotional load. Perhaps it is about resistance. Perhaps it is about the relationship we have with ourselves and our lives. One of the ideas that has shaped my thinking the most is this: life is expensive. Being alive requires energy. Thinking requires energy. Feeling requires energy. Working requires energy. Healing requires energy. The question is not whether life costs energy. It does. The question is what increases that cost and what reduces it. When I began studying this question, I became fascinated by something. Two people can experience the exact same situation and have completely different energetic experiences. One person feels drained, another feels energized. One person feels overwhelmed, another feels challenged and alive. One person sees only stress, another sees meaning. Why? I believe part of the answer lies in the nervous system. The nervous system is constantly asking questions. Am I safe? Am I connected? Am I under threat? Do I need to fight? Do I need to flee? Do I need to shut down? These processes influence far more than we often realize. They influence attention, mood, recovery, performance, decision-making, relationships, and perhaps even our experience of energy itself. This realization led me toward a simple but powerful idea. Human beings do not merely need more rest, they need better recovery. Recovery is not laziness, recovery is not weakness, recovery is a biological skill. Recovery begins when the nervous system receives signals of safety, when breathing slows, when connection increases, when presence returns, when the body no longer feels it must remain on guard. Recovery begins when we laugh, when we move, when we spend time in nature, when we feel purpose, when we feel gratitude, when we stop fighting every moment of our lives. This is one reason I became interested in practices such as breathwork, heart coherence, meditation, cold exposure, mindfulness, movement, and emotional regulation. Not because they are magical, but because they may help the nervous system shift into the states that support recovery. The more I explored these ideas, the more I started asking a different question. What if human energy is trainable? What if recovery is trainable? What if aliveness is trainable? What if many people are not suffering from a lack of effort, but from a lack of recovery? What if the future of human performance is not simply doing more. What if it is learning how to recover better? These questions became the foundation of much of my work and several of the books I have written. Books such as Rest Awake, The Quiet Fire, Human Soul on Fire, and Mastering the Human Energy. Each explores a different path of the same question. How do human beings become more alive? I don't claim to have all the answers. In many ways, I'm still exploring these questions myself. But I believe they are questions worth asking, because behind every goal, every relationship, every dream, and every challenge lies a human nervous system. And behind every nervous system lies an energy economy. Perhaps understanding that energy economy is one of the most important things we can do. Thank you for watching. If these ideas resonate with you, consider subscribing in future videos.